In today's Focus on Family, brain development and your baby, why some experts say it's best to get them reading from the very beginning. Richard Gentry is the author of Raising Confident Readers, How to Teach Your Child to Read and Write from Baby to Age 7. Thank you for coming in. I've got a lot of questions about this, but one of the things that I think is most fascinating is that you say when you try to teach your child to read at a younger age, it actually helps their brains grow bigger?
Well, there are wonderful advantages to teaching babies to read early. One of the great advantages is that you're giving them words. Babies start out, if you read aloud to babies, you're providing them a 32 million word advantage. That's data going into the brain, Dina. And what babies do, they begin to build the connections with language and even reading and writing connections. For example, they will start babbling, and then they're going to learn grammar, and pretty soon, the repeated reading of books, pretty soon they'll connect with the meaning and the content of the books. They're building new concepts. So it's all a wonderful brain-building activity for
I'm
them.
a huge proponent of this. I have 4 kids, and I read to them literally from the moment they came home from the hospital. I read to my infants, and they did start speaking earlier than most of their peers. But this idea of actually being able to teach them to read?
Yes, you know, research shows that babies have special capacities, and they learn to read differently than the non-reading 6-year-old. It's hard for a non-reading 6-year-old to read, but baby reading is totally different. It's not direct instruction, it's formal instruction. And they have special capacities, even beginning in the first year of life, for language and meaning, for pattern recognition, and that's what reading is. It's connecting meaning with the patterns of print. So many babies can actually read words before they can speak them.
And you say that this actually gives them a learning advantage. I know that I've spoken to some teachers who believe that everyone sort of catches up in the end. Does that advantage last, or is it only an advantage in, say, the kindergarten and first grade years?
Well, Dina, 42% of children come to kindergarten not ready for success with reading. 4 out of 10 kids can't read proficiently in 3rd grade.
Wow.
So there is obviously, if babies can learn, babies and toddlers can learn to read and come to school ready for success with reading, there's obviously a long-term advantage, no question about it.
And one of the other things is it's really maybe more fun and less stress for a child if they're reading with their parent at home as opposed to trying to catch up in a school setting by the time they get to kindergarten.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. The most important, reading actually is probably a fringe benefit. The most important aspect of baby reading is bonding with the parent. It's falling in love with books, but it has to do with the parent interaction, hands-on experience with words and language, and most importantly, that bonding, the physical contact with the parent when the baby is in the lap reading a book, or even some new things are happening with computer technology, parents in front of a computer screen holding the baby, interacting with word games, word cards, so that you're giving the babies words. You know, babies start out babbling, and they have words long before you know what they're talking about. But work with reading and words can give them those words sometimes even before they can speak. Words like drink, eat, book, or even change me.
I know with families where 2 languages are spoken, they say that a child's mind can absorb the other language very early, really often before we teach it in school. And you're suggesting that reading may be the same thing, that a baby's brain has a quicker capacity to learn.
Absolutely. It's, again, very different from formal instruction. Babies' brains aren't ready for formal instruction, but the bonding with parents, the interaction with parents, their brains do have some capacity. It's interesting. It's not well understood scientifically, but you know why? They haven't done research with 2-year-old and 3-year-old readers. But it's time tested. We've known for over 100 years, parents have been reporting success with teaching babies and toddlers to read.
Well, and reading with them, I mean, there are just tremendous benefits, although I don't think parents should get stressed about it if one doesn't read. I know with my twins, I did the same thing with both of them. One was a little quicker than the other, but it certainly is all worthwhile. Doctor, thank you so much for coming in.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
If you want to learn more, you can go to jrichardgentry.com, or for a link, if you want to hear more on this advice, again, you can go to WGNTV.com/midday.